In this section, you're going to set up your business model. And to do that, you can select one or more of the following business model types. Now, in the guidance page and in the model itself here, you can see the definitions for each of these business model types. I'm not going to go through those now, but what I'll do is walk you through a couple examples and show you how to make updates here. So in the simple example here, let's say that you have a SaaS business where you are, of course, developing software in exchange for a monthly fee or annual fee. You just want to select yes next to these subscriptions or SaaS option, and you're done. That's all you need to do. Assuming this is your primary business model, the name of that product is just going to be subscription, and you can sort of move on and go through to the next section of the model. But let's select a different example. So let's say that you are selling an app online, either through a marketplace or if you're selling that app for free, but it has in-app purchases, you can select yes to the top option here. Here you can enter in a name for that product or service. So in this case, we can call it app. And you can see that the field next door will add an S or otherwise pluralize that noun. And what this is doing is that it's going to update all of the labeling in the assumptions tab, but also in the presentation tab so that all the numbers that are there are labeled so that they make sense in the context of your specific product or service. Let's go through one more example. So if you want to combine business models, let's say you are developing a device with a subscription attached to it. So think a Fitbit or Peloton, where you are purchasing a physical device, you are doing manufacturing, and then customers have the option to purchase a subscription afterwards. So in that case, you want to select yes next to the physical goods option, and then you want to label that device. So in this case, let's call it a watch. And you can see over here that the formulas, in spite of their best efforts, aren't pluralizing that noun very well. And if that's the case, all you need to do is just overwrite that gray field. This is one of the rare occasions in which you can overwrite that gray field without really disrupting anything. Everything that needs to be plural will be, as long as you rename this noun to what it should be. So if we're operating in IoT, then you can select yes next to the subscriptions option. So now you have multiple business models working in the model here. Now below, you need to make sure that you are defining the primary business model. And so in this case, the watches are your primary business model because that is what your sales funnels are driving your customers to purchase first. The subscriptions are considered a secondary revenue model because the customers will only purchase subscription if they purchase the device first. Walking through one last example, so let's say you're developing a online marketplace, and if that's the case, the only option you need to select is the transactions option. This is true even if your marketplace has some sort of subscription offering. So think a Uber or Uber One option. So it's free to be an Uber customer, either a rider or a driver, but you do have the option to purchase Uber One, which is sort of an in-app subscription. And there are options within the marketplace module of the model to add a subscription option. So if it is a marketplace, what you need to do is just select the marketplace option here. Then go down and customize your marketplace user groups. So this model will support a marketplace with two user types, buyers and sellers, and you can customize how you refer to those buyers and sellers. So if it's a generic marketplace like an eBay where you're referring to your sellers as sellers and your buyers as buyers, the default options are fine. But if you are operating, for example, a rideshare like Uber, the marketplace sellers might be called drivers, and the marketplace buyers might be called riders or passengers or something like that. And again, this is updating all the labeling so that the numbers will make more sense when you're reading through them. Now, you also have the option to monetize. You're going to start doing that ad sales or data sales. So let's say in this case, we aren't going to start those data sales until year 3. And you'll see here that there's some a formula here, and what this is doing is that it's giving you sort of a preview to the number of customers and website visitors you will have at that month. And this is, of course, based on some assumptions in a module below, so you may need to revisit these numbers and tweak some of these amounts here, but this is just sort of giving you a preview of what's to come. And then below that, you can enter an average monthly revenue per customer and an average monthly revenue per website visitor, and just define those things here. And this will activate another line in your income statement so that you are sort of monetizing the ads and data sales. Now let's go back up and select a business model with multiple revenue drivers here. So if we select yes to physical manufacturing and yes to subscriptions, we're going to reactivate our IoT example from 4. Now let's go down one section to the combined business model section, and the model will tell you that there are multiple business models active, and you will get this sort of diagram that tells you the flow of your customers. So starting with the sales funnels, you have your multiple sales funnels, and those are both driving customers to purchase watches, but we also have the ad and data sales option selected, so your website visitors and your customers are also generating revenue. Your watch customers are generating revenue as well, and then some portion of your watch customers are purchasing subscriptions. So to change this, you expand this option here, and you go to the options that are available. So anything that's grayed out is not in play. Those variables are not applicable to your situation, but these are. So what you're telling the model here, if you check this box, that just means that your watch customers are subsequently purchasing subscriptions. That is, at least a portion of your watch customers are purchasing subscriptions. And if that's the case, then you want to set the conversion rate each year that your watch customers are becoming subscribers. And then finally, this checkbox down here, what this does is that it tells the model that only your new customers are going to subsequently convert to subscribers. So to put that plainly, if you have a repeat customer and that repeat customer is purchasing a second watch, by checking this box, you are telling the model that that repeat customer is not going to also buy another subscription. If it's the case that every time your customer buys a device, they need a new subscription, you would deselect that box. Now, if you go down, you'll see that by changing these percentages here, you will change the percent that are flowing through from your watches to your subscriber customers. And if you want to get rid of that ad and data revenue option, you can just go back up, deselect this, and go back down, and you'll see that that option goes away. And it gives you just a nice visual representation of how your customers are flowing from the sales funnels to your primary business model to your secondary business model.